welcome to the AH Ingress Show, Episode 2. Tonight we have a couple of new faces on the show, and we'll be talking about our Ingress Survival Pack that we posted up this week on the site, Ingress app update, some new tips and strategies. We also have some invite codes that we're going to give away, and there's more. Tonight on the show we have Christina. If you want to introduce yourself.
I'm Christina. I'm a writer. I work with Alex.
How's Ingress going over in your area?
It's going. I definitely could use a good amount of resistance players because right now Enlightened is taking over in Wisconsin, and it's not good.
That's how it's getting over here a little bit. It's making it more fun now. And we also have Joshua coming back this week. How are you?
Hi, I'm Josh. I'm in the Royal Oak area in Detroit, and things are getting lively and feisty with the Enlightened players here finally.
And we also have Linda, who's new to the show.
Hi, everybody. I'm from the Plymouth Canton area, and we were really taking over this area. There was really no competition for a while, but we just started getting some enlightenment. I see that they're starting to organize. I have a couple arch nemesis that I like to trade barbs with on the comm. Matter of fact, tonight he was saying we were talking about having a stash, and he's already talking about attacking that. So, but it's good to have competition. So I hope we get more competition.
Yeah, they've been taking over in downtown Detroit lately. As soon as I blow up their stuff, they come back and take it back.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So for AP.
Yeah, it really is. Our first topic is the Ingress Survival Pack, which Doug, he wrote up this week and we posted it last night. What are things that you would need if you're going out to play Ingress for a few hours, other than batteries?
Come on. It's the only thing I need is battery.
You need gloves. It's cold. It was snowing today.
That's what we have cars for.
Yeah.
Any other suggestions?
I do have to double up on the battery part because that killed me in Ann Arbor. I ran out when I was about to.
I bought a power bag for me, and it charges my phone about 4 times. So.
I definitely like his suggestion of the waterproof case if you're going to be out walking around. I mean, that's definitely a really good idea to keep your device or whatever you have from getting any water damage or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had like plastic bags at Target. I don't remember if it was Josh or Justin that talked about it last time.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, they're like $5, so well worth the investment.
It's just like a plastic bag that goes over your phone, right?
Yeah, I think I've actually got one here. Hold on. Yeah, this one is the tablet-sized one. So it almost, well, it sort of fits my Nexus 10, but not really. It involves a lot of wrestling in and out of the bag.
How is it for touching through the plastic? Is that a problem?
It actually works way better than I thought it would. It's just like touching the regular screen. It's a soft, it's sort of rubbery almost. It's not the same tactile experience for your finger, but it registers perfectly. And multi-touch works through it, so pinch to zoom is no problem. It was better than I expected. I managed to find a similar designed one at REI also, and it was also under $10.
And in a pinch, we've actually used the little snack-sized Ziploc bags. I've thrown my phone in that plenty of times. You can't use it as well, but it's good for while you're transporting it.
Yeah, the tablet-sized one also fits my phone and my external battery at the same time. None of the phone-sized ones fit the Note 2.
Note 2 is not a phone, it's a phablet.
Yeah.
Which extended battery do you have for the Note 2?
I'm actually using an external one. Give me 1 sec, I'll go grab it.
Ooh.
Yeah, he plays a lot.
I wish I could. The only time I get to is like before and after work, and before work I never have time, so I always hit them after. Although I got to claim a new one today, so that was really exciting.
Yeah, that's why I play in the morning, because afternoon I have to work.
Have you guys ever been at work and somebody's like blowing up all your stuff and you can't do anything about it?
Dr. Norris Water has been taking all my stuff.
Ooh,
Ooh,
nice.
yes.
Sweet.
How heavy is it?
I think he's muted.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. So I already did the whole spiel. So this is the battery pack, and it's got micro USB built into it, so you don't forget your cable. And then it charges over micro USB on that side, and then it's got 2 full-size USB ports in the top. And then
Nice.
for us late night Portal players, it's got a flashlight on the front too.
Oh,
Wow.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And
So,
I really like the D there, the Detroit Resistance. Where did you get that?
actually, I had some stickers made. I've got a whole pile of them. I've been.
I hope I'm on the list.
All it takes is $2, and I'll send you some. I've got a friend who works in a sign shop, and she made a bunch of stickers. So I've got one on the back of my laptop, right there. And yeah, I've been dropping them off various places around Metro Detroit for people.
Well worth it for $2. I'm in.
Yeah.
I don't know if I put it on my car though. Give myself, then they know who I am at the
Yeah.
portal. I don't know.
I'm good with that. I put one on my car. I want you to know who's destroying your resonators.
That's funny.
And our next topic is the Ingress app got updated today. Some of you may
Woohoo!
know
I was
that
so excited when I saw it.
Yes, I've updated.
Some of you may have seen that it's now available in Australia and New Zealand, so now they don't have to sideload the app onto their phone to play. They can download it straight from the Play Store. Also, the inventory size is capped at, it looks like it's 2,000 items. And Mike was saying on comm a little while ago that it doesn't apply to passcodes. So when you redeem those passcodes, you can have over 2,000 with that. Did anybody else notice any
Interesting.
differences with the update? I don't know if anybody's had time to play with it yet.
I played with it, a little bit, because I updated it, like, that was right when I got out of work, so as I'm, like, trying to drive and look for portals, I'm like, oh, look at that, I got an update, sweet. So I updated it. It didn't look like anything was really different, but then again, I really only got to play with it for 20 minutes before I got home.
Yeah, nothing looks terribly different to me. I also have only had about 10 minutes of actual playtime with it. And I've got a giant number of keys and XMPs, and I haven't run into any sort of a limit problem yet, though I haven't tried to pick anything up. So
I got to pick something up the other day as I was attacking an Enlightened portal. There was a key there, and I got it, and I was so excited.
Yeah, I found a bunch of keys just laying around downtown on Wednesday. A lot of them
Are
were at
people
Enlightened
just-
portals.
Are people dropping them, or and not realizing it, or are they being dropped on purpose?
I'm thinking they're heading out of town, and maybe
Yeah,
they
they
live.
might be looking to pick up portal keys out of town.
yeah, if you ever pick up Chicago keys in Detroit, chances are I dropped them, because the first week I was playing, I was in Chicago, and I picked up probably 70 or 80 keys, and they just became a pain to be shuffling through all the Chicago ones. So I've been dropping them at random when I go around Detroit. And especially now that there's a limit, I'll be doing that more often, I think. There really should be a way to destroy keys and intel, because I've got a million pieces of intel that have already been used in used in the game and have already been exposed in the game that really are kind of useless. And I feel bad just dropping them. Someone else will pick them up and try and decode them again. So
Waste all that time.
Though, I had some old media the other day that I pulled back up, and there was an icon spinning on the media card, and it was a clue that hadn't been discovered yet. And it was an old, so sometimes there, I don't think we're looking carefully enough at the media.
Interesting.
Yeah, it had actually 2 storyboards on that little icon that was spinning.
I did get my first L6 media the other day. It was Ape 18.
Was it 18?
Yeah, Escape 18.
Mm-hmm.
I can see the clue in it. I just can't read it perfectly yet. I'm gonna have to copy it to the PC and check it out.
Yeah, it would be interesting to know what's a good program to look at those when you want to look at them up close, or if you want to change the. I have something called an old program called View, and it's not really good for looking at those. There's got to be something out there that I could use different. Can you suggest anything as far as viewing these things?
I mean, the thing that I found most useful is Picasa. I just load them up in Picasa. At least the ones that are JPEGs, I load them up in Picasa and then monkey with the brightness and contrast to get a better view of things. The one that I've got right now, this what is that? Whatever the media. What is that? Escape 18. Mm-hmm. There's something showing on the right hand side on the edge that I'm only really going to be able to show by increasing the contrast and making it darker. Mm-hmm. So Picasa. I mean, there's a million free viewers that allow you to manipulate brightness and contrast easily.
Has anyone taken a look at the storyboards and tried to make sense of the story that's being told on them?
I've tried once or twice, but it's just like there's so many things that you can click on. It's so hard for me to follow because I'm like, okay, and you got this over here, and then you got this over here, and then you got a video over here, and I'm just like, this is confusing.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's definitely takes a team effort to figure some of the stuff out. A lot of times I'm going in one direction, and then somebody online will say something, and I'll realize that I was totally looking at the wrong thing. And with the storyboards, one of the first things I noticed is there's a gap at the bottom border, and I believe the gap, and they probably have figured that already out, you line up the gaps to get the order right, but we're not sure if the order is even right now. The sequence of events for these storyboards. Something has happened in the storyboards. Something has happened at CERN, and you see Jarvis and Deborah running from the CERN facility, escaping in a getaway. You see them at a train station. One of the clues I think is big is you see that they check their watch and the train is 10 minutes early. And to me, they've just been exposed to all this enlightenment and XM particles. And so there's a suggestion that there might be time travel involved. Later, there's 2 bodies found at the statue in Zurich. And we still aren't quite sure if it's Deborah and Jarvis. We've seen some clues where Jarvis says he's not dead. We've seen some recordings that came out after the shooting, but seem to be, it's the 2 of them talking. So, and they sound like they've already been enlightened, and they sound a little off in these conversations. So, there is a suggestion there of time travel. Also in the autopsy, his body was, did anybody read the autopsy report where Jarvis's body was regenerating, and he would take something out and then look back and the body was healed and completely, even though he was dead. And
I do remember seeing something about that. I remember reading it, yeah.
Yeah, and at first we were thinking, like the XM was regenerating his body somehow. But there was one thing the doctor noted was in there, if you look, is that he noted that he didn't see it regenerate. He hadn't witnessed it, the actual regeneration taking place. He had just, looked away when he looked back. So that suggests, again, time travel, that he's looking at the body at 2 different points in time, before and after the autopsy. I also have talked to Hubert Farlow. I don't know if you guys know, but a lot of times you can engage. I checked out the characters and started looking for them in Google+, and they're there on Google+, and you can engage these characters and ask questions and get some clues. And Agent Hubert Farlow contacted me and said that he was at the train station, and so this is new information we haven't seen on the storyboards. And he says he was there, he witnessed it, he helped take the bodies away. He sounded a little enlightened. I asked him about it. He was a little foggy. he said that it was on the body, and he kind of picked it up when he was carrying the body. Some of the enlightenment rubbed off on him, but he said it made him feel more strongly towards the resistance, that how important the resistance was rather than towards enlightenment, which I thought was interesting. He also has a request. He said for the resistance that he'd like to see us build large fields over the holidays, and I think that's a great idea. I would love to see Detroit be seen from, what do you call it, outer space, on the outer space version of the Ingress map, to see a blue field there. I don't know if we have enough people at a high enough level to do that, how big a field we could make, and what kind of planning. I mean, what kind of planning do you guys think that would take?
Take quite a bit of planning.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a whole lot of people higher than L6 right now.
I'm not even above level 1, so you guys are all lucky. I'm like halfway there, I think, from all my hacking every day. I'm almost to level 2.
Yeah, I'm halfway through level 6 right now.
Yeah, I just got to L5 on Wednesday, I think.
I'm about the same place. I'm at halfway through L6. And
nice.
But yeah, I'm wondering how big a field. There is a guide on how far your links can be thrown, and this is where the keys come into play. Is do I want to? When you start to get the really big distances, and you want to make a link, and you have to drive those distances, it's going to be helpful to have some kind of a key exchange. Get together with your groups and exchange those keys so that you have them in your inventory already when you're ready to make those big links. And you can have a central area where everybody can come gather, make a party out of it. We've been discussing that. We're thinking of having one ourselves January 2nd or 3rd here in this area. So I think that's something people might want to start thinking about in their own area. Is how you're going to get those keys once you move up and want to get those big fields. Because when you have the big field, too, the other advantage is that no one can build fields under that. So you really stop. It's a really good way to stop the enemy. I think the smaller fields are important also because they're harder to break through. But having a large field on top of that is just seals the deal for the area.
Well, the Enlightened all of a sudden have a whole lot of really giant links in Macomb County. Yes,
I've noticed that. And also they're working up, I noticed up in northern Oakland County there.
Yeah, in West Bloomfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a few smaller ones down in Hart Plaza. I think there's some like Comerica Park too now.
It's nice to see them wake up.
Yes, and yeah. I've seen some evidence of organizing online, that they are trying to get organized and
definitely
start communicating.
It was getting boring with just all this resistance around here.
Yeah.
Well, that's great because I need some of that resistance over here. Maybe you should share.
I was actually thinking of becoming a Ingress mercenary for hire, but it would have to be a warm and sunny location, I think, to
Yeah, it's pretty cold
to
here.
tempt me away. Yeah.
In
So-
January, I'm back on the road for work, so I'm gonna be dropping in cities all over the U.S.
And I think that's where the game's going to get interesting, is we have people traveling with this.
Yeah.
It's gonna throw
Especially
a
over
wrench
the
in.
holidays.
Yeah.
I definitely got a couple trips within like the next 3 to 4 months that, we'll be traveling outside and away from home for school activities. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, to see, what I can find for hacking purposes and see what it's like outside of my area.
Actually, that was a strategy I was thinking of. Right now, all of the kids are home from school for the holidays, and I think college campuses are ripe for the picking while they're gone.
Yeah.
And I thought we should be going in there and cleaning it out while they're gone.
Go get U of M cleaned out.
Yeah, it's a good time to finish them up. Get them turning blue, 100%. I actually, after our Go Blue operation, our Operation Go Blue, I actually got a note from somebody at Ohio State who said, "I never thought I'd say it, but go blue." And it was kind of funny that Ohio State was cheering us on that night.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, that never happens.
never, ever. So,
Okay, we're gonna give away one of our Ingress codes right now.
Ooh,
ooh.
yay. Somebody asked a question too. I posted in there. If anybody has any questions, to feel free to ask, as long as it's not a question for an invite.
Am I eligible to win the invite?
Anybody have any ideas on how we should give it away?
Oh, that's tricky.
Well, I think we're going to demand allegiance to the Resistance, for starters.
And in order to win, you have to comment on the Hangout post on the Android Headlines page. Because
Okay.
the one we'll be watching.
Although we could give Enlightenment a break. I mean, I feel sorry for it. It's just so easy to smash them to pieces and wipe them off the map right now. We got to have a little mercy here.
I mean, if anybody's from the Wisconsin area, I mean, I'm all for giving it to them, because I could use some help. Pretty much everything south from Green Bay and down is pretty much, it's all Enlightened. Like down by Milwaukee and Madison, it's all green.
Why do you think that is? Is there anything that indicate, do you ever look at an area and see that it's green or blue and think, oh yeah, that makes sense?
No, actually, I just, I kind of wonder, I would like to maybe find out, who some of these people are, just to kind of, get a feel for what's going on, and just, kind of join in somebody else that shares similar interests. It would be kind of fun.
Yeah, it is. And, it's fun when you can engage each other, and I think that makes the game so much more fun. And I have my arch nemesis is Matrix 78, and we have fun. And the first time I met him online on the comm was I had just taken out all of his fields. I saw that he was building, and on my way home from a party, I thought, I can't go home and just leave him to demolish all my fields. So I went along the border right where he was working, and I made them all as high level as I could, put the best shields I could on them, and put up as many links as I could to make it miserable for him. And when I got home, I looked at my comm, and it said he put well played, Portalus, well played. And it was funny that it surprised me that he had even noticed that I was out there doing that. And you don't realize that anybody's even paying attention to what you're doing. And one night, there's this one church that there's a portal at that we've fought back and forth for. And one night I was there at like 12:30 at night and blowing it up once again. And I see on the comm, it pops up, it says, oh, you're at midnight mass. And so I told him I was getting some religion. I think if I go to that church one more time, they're going to make me a member.
Nice.
Invite me in for potluck dinner. But,
So I think what we're going to do for the invite is whoever can guess the last number of the code will get it. The first person that gets it.
That's a
good.
really good idea. And while you pay attention for that, somebody's asking too about, like, this could go for anybody, like what they want to see for game content. I mean, does anybody have anything? I know we've kind of been touching on it throughout, but that was one of the questions.
Yeah, I do. I have one. As far as you mean improving the game, or what would I add to the game? Okay.
Well, he says, what would you like to see as far as game content?
One of the things is when we throw what I call a scud link, and it's you hit the wrong link, and it'd be great to be able to get just a link eraser. But I'd even be willing to give up my points on it.
Is big.
Yeah, I think that's a big one.
So are we just gonna let them keep guessing numbers until somebody guesses it right?
It looks like everybody's guessing the same number. They're guessing everything but the right one.
Oh, well, don't give it away.
Gotta tell them they're wrong so they don't keep posting 4 or 9.
Well, yours must refresh faster than mine, because I don't see a 9 yet.
Yeah, 9 was the second one guessed.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't see it. I just see 3, 4, 7, 8, 5. Dun dun dun. Who's going to be the lucky winner?
This plays into the Enlightenment. One of the problems I have with Enlightenment is how do they decide? Just like how do we decide when we were talking about how do we decide who gets this invite? And when the person who just got it, how are they going to decide who they give it to? That's no different than when they decide who's going to be enlightened, who's going to be the person that's going to be the great artist or the musician, and instead of just allowing it to happen. That there's some kind of choosing going on, kind of. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
anybody
we do have a winner.
Yay!
Yay!
All right.
Eric Shurts, Shurts.
Oh yeah, I know Eric.
Yep,
Congratulations, Eric.
So I'll be sending him the code in just a second.
All right.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's resistant.
Actually,
I think he already has a
away,
code.
but
I think he has a code already.
yes.
Okay. You guys want to talk about some new tips or strategies? I don't know if there's anything new that we found out in the last 2 weeks.
I'm all game for tips and strategies because it's just me.
It does change as you go from level to level. Your strategy really does, change quite a bit. When you're first starting out, you're hacking, hoping for an occasional link or field. One of the strategies I talked about this week is what happens when you're out in the middle of nowhere and there's maybe 4 portals. And there's no competition. How do you build AP? And I had this idea. I don't know what you guys think of it, but what I thought is each day you go out there and put a resonator on, and then when you get to the 8th day, you just let it. You can link them up, and then you can let them die, and it's going to die 1 resonator at a time. So each time one of the resonators dies, you go back out there, put that on, you get the AP for the last resonator, and so that's 8 days in a row that you'll get your AP for the last resonator, and then you'll also be hooking. Do you think that's a good
one for Christina?
Yeah, definitely.
just to build yourself some AP at first.
I like Mark's strategy, though. He says to destroy everything that Linda makes.
Oh. Matrix!
Is that Matrix? Because my strategy is to destroy everything he makes. And that seems to work well for him, for me too, so.
I'm not even gonna, I could say something, but I'm not gonna give away my weakness right now.
Good idea.
I would say that my favorite tip for new players is definitely go out in teams. Go out with more than one person. If you're having trouble finding somebody, just get on comm and say, I'm looking for another player to go out with.
You're making me jealous because I don't have that.
Is there nobody in comm for you?
Well, I mean, there's some people, but it's like, when you try to communicate, it's like nobody answers. Because I know there is a resistance that, is in O'Connell Falls, which is maybe like 10 minutes away from me, but that guy never answers me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, there's nothing I can do for you, Christina. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I just, I keep skimming, looking for people. It's all right. I'm patient.
Yeah, but I will say that going with more than one person is a great way to go as long as you can figure out who gets to as long as you can agree on who gets the AP for things.
Right, and one of the ways, yeah, I agree. One of the ways is to have the higher person blow up the portal, and the lower level set it up and link it.
Yep, absolutely. That's normally how I play when I go out with lower level players.
Yeah, that's how Darko did it for me on Wednesday because I met up with him while we were taking out Hard Plaza.
Yeah, I'll do the destroying and I'll let them do the building, and I'll do the upgrades on the resonators if it needs it to get the links up.
That's a good yeah.
But the other thing that I've found to be really handy is to only put down to only upgrade as much as I can, except for one resonator. I always leave one resonator as L1. For multiple reasons. The first of which is when someone tries to take out your portal, that L1 gets destroyed first, and it notifies you by email that somebody's taken out your resonators, and that helps you hopefully have enough time to react and get into the app, and if you have enough XM to remotely repair the portal, that helps. But the other thing that it does is because it's now popped, all you have to do is go back out and redeploy one resonator, and you get the bonus for having fully powered up a portal, and so you get extra AP out of that as well. That's been a good strategy so far.
Yeah, I've been doing that on the portal side. I'm upgrading around here. I always leave one at L1 unless I don't have any.
I have had a couple people swear that I'm geospoofing because they'll take out that L1 and I'll immediately start recharging the other stuff that's on the portal, and they'll say, "Oh, there's no one here. There's no one here." Yeah, I know. It's just once you have the key, you can get in there remotely, and you tipped me off that you're taking up my portal.
I heard a conversation on comm last week where in Ann Arbor they were charging the portal on the guy as he killed it. And he was putting on comm. He's like, "Oh, there's something glitchy with my phone. The program's glitching." And everybody in the private faction chat was laughing hysterically because he had no idea that he had all these people working against him. Yeah. And he didn't destroy it.
Yeah, I've actually had that work for me a couple times in comm. I've run out of XM doing a recharge while someone's trying to take something out. And I've had, people on local comm come in with reinforcements as long as they've got the key. It's, it tends to work pretty well.
Yeah, Alex, you're too quiet.
I'm learning these strategies too. I'm still kind of noobish. I'm level 5, but...
Okay, all right. Here's a question. How are you guys doing when you go out and you do these, these portal hackings and attackings and stuff? How do you do it? Do you do it on foot or you do it in the cars? Because, right now my issue that I run into a lot is, having the gas to go do all that stuff. So, what could you suggest for those who can't do the on foot?
Carpool. That's where we're going out with other people. You can split the gas.
Yep.
Nice.
I definitely would recommend that.
Yeah, there are places where it's not possible to do it from the car, or not advantageous to do it from the car. The Southfield Public Library. There's a lot of portals that are badly placed for doing it from the car, which I think that was probably Google's original intent, was to get nerds out of the basement with this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people who think they'll turn around and tell me, oh, that's so stupid, and I'm like, I love it. I don't know what you're talking about, but okay.
it's been a lot of fun, and when I was in Chicago, I saw a whole lot more of Chicago than I would have had I not been playing the game. Because I got out there and walked around the museum district, on foot. I walked the waterfront on foot. I put in something like 12 miles one day, on foot. So there's definitely something to be said for doing it from on foot. However, we are getting now to the point in Michigan and other northern states that it's getting really cold out. So if I was in Chicago this week, I don't think I'd be as productive a hacker as I was the week that I was there in November.
Yeah, with the cold weather and the snow coming today.
Oh yeah, the guys in Minneapolis, St. Paul are probably not very active this week.
Hey, the
Yeah.
snow didn't stop me.
Mm-mm.
I was still going through. Although today I almost got stuck by the fire department, but I still made it out.
We've got
You
a
had all
port.
those firefighters there to help you.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
true.
Yeah. You have to send a thank you note to Google.
For sure.
We have a portal in a IKEA parking lot. It's right in the middle of the parking lot, and it wasn't related to IKEA at all. The statue that was there was moved, so you can on a snowy day do donuts and get XM while you're spinning around. I'm just waiting for somebody to give that a try.
We even have a player called Donuts in the Parking Lot. I'm sure he'd take you up on that once, at least.
We could almost do it today, almost, but not quite.
Yep. Oh,
And-
somebody posted to the thread that bikes work well in high-density areas, and I would agree, except that it's too cold here for bikes right now.
Yeah.
But during the summer, I think that'll probably be my hacking vehicle of choice.
Hmm. I
Hey,
agree.
Alex, tell your dog to be quiet.
That's mine.
That's not my dog.
Oh,
She locked herself in the basement by accident.
oh, nice.
I know.
My dog's quiet this time.
I'm thinking I
Oh,
should probably go
okay.
get her, but I'm hoping someone else is going to go get her out. Maybe I should go get her. She's pretty upset. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay, we also saw a pretty cool article on Decode Ingress, their website this week. It was talking about how to react when police officers stop you, like the appropriate reaction. Has anybody ever been approached by
Yes, I
police,
saved you.
firefighters?
I had my very first police encounter last week in Detroit on 7 Mile near one of the libraries. It was 10:30 at night, and that's about 3 hours after the library closes. And, it's not the most savory of areas in Detroit.
No.
And this cop car pulled up behind me while I had just finished taking down the Enlightened resonators and was about to deploy. And this cop car pulls up behind me and didn't move, just sat there for a second. And I saw him in the rearview mirror, and then he flipped his lights on. And at that point, I was pretty much figuring I was getting a ticket at the very least, or at least a stern talking to. But apparently I was in the neighborhood to buy drugs, because that's apparently what you do there. So he wanted to know what I was doing, and I said I was playing a game. He said, at 10:30 at night? I said, yeah. I'm just getting started for the evening.
Did you have to show them and give them the whole rundown of what it is and stuff? Because I'm waiting to get pulled over to have a cop come and be like, we see you here every day. Pull into the parking lot. Pull out. Are you a terrorist? What are you doing?
Oh yeah, I'm sure you're on a watch list somewhere already. Yeah, no, I did show it to him. I said, it's a game on the phone, and I basically told him that it's basically a scavenger hunt style thing, where you have to physically be at the thing you're capturing, and that was enough for him to, like he saw I had a laptop on the passenger seat. I had my giant Note 2, and wires running everywhere, and I think he just thought the better of it, and he just went back. He sort of shook his head and went back to his car. And pretty sure I was the first person in town doing that there.
Nice. Linda, you got an encounter too, but with firefighters.
Yes, I was out there like it was after midnight. I want to say what 1 o'clock, and you have to stand. At that point, I thought the only place you could stand was in this parking lot next to the firehouse, but I came in a different way and didn't notice if there was, if you came in the regular way, there was a sign that said restricted. I didn't see that sign from the direction I came. And so I'm standing in this restricted area, staring at my phone, upgrading it, hacking it. And I thought I'd wait around and hack it again. And so I was there for quite a while, and they were inside having a discussion because they'd seen my car come and go all day long. And, and so they came out, and they're all around me, and they're like, and I think they were worried about me, and they said, "Can we help you, ma'am?" And they were concerned instead of, upset. And like I was maybe senile and had wandered in there somehow.
Over and over and over.
But they actually gathered around the phone, and I showed them the app and told them what it was all about, because I get all excited about it and I start talking about it. And they actually were laughing, and so it worked out. And then when I did get back, I did send Google a note and said thank you.
Because they were cute, right?
Because they were very cute. So whenever they need somebody to go take care of a firehouse, I'm first one there.
Nice.
I'm always there if you need a firehouse taken care of. I'm the person to call.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, I've been distributing these the Resistance Detroit stickers by dropping them off to people. Until today, I posted that got a pile of these. I do like to go to post offices a lot now.
Yeah, we don't have to talk you into that. I was just feeling bad about sending you to the post office to mail me one. No,
heck no, I'm mailing one. Each envelope is going to a different post office.
I have a story about that, actually. A few weeks ago, I'm not as young as you guys. A lot of my friends don't even use computers, don't even have email. And so I can't even explain Ingress to them. They would never get it. And so a group of these women that I hang out with every once in a while called me, and actually we do play games together. We play Bunko, which is an old, the non-technical dice. But anyway, they called me and said, let's go out to dinner. We haven't seen each other. And I said, okay. She goes, where do you want to go? And I'm thinking, okay, my post office on Wayne Road needs some attention, and there's a nice restaurant right next door. So I said, yeah, let's go to this restaurant right over on Wayne Road. And they're like, okay. And so then I was thinking, how do I get them to stop at the post office? So, because I was going to just drive. I was going to drive myself, and then they at last minute they're like, oh, we'll come pick you up. And I'm like, oh. So I thought, okay, well, I'll stick a letter in my purse, and when we get close to the post office, I'll pull it out and say, I got to mail something. Could you stop for a minute? And I tell you what, they wouldn't have suspected at all. But it was a really good plan. So, I'm sure there's other people out there that are planning. You start to plan your life around this game.
I do. I totally do. Because, I plan my route to and from work just perfectly so I can hit all my portals. It's awesome.
Okay, who has a cat?
Yeah, that'd be
Not me. Well, I have cats, but they're not out here.
My dog's going to hear that any minute and go nuts. Just kidding.
Alex, don't you have any good stories? You were gone all day the other day, and you were apparently doing Ingress, because I was like, where's Alex? He's not writing. Tom said you were doing Ingress.
Yep. I was there all morning.
All morning?
From 8
Wow.
to 12. I used my Nexus 4 until it died. Then I went and used the Galaxy Note 2 until it almost died. I think I died before the Note 2 died.
Do you ever go... Go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was going to say the Note 2 lasted about 4 hours playing Ingress straight and it was at 35% when I stopped playing.
What size Note is that? The 10-inch?
The Note 2 for Verizon, and that was on LTE.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, Note
Yeah,
2
be quiet,
finally,
you and your Note 2.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Note 2 finally has cyanogen mod available in Nightly's.
Ah. Well, I'm sorry. I have a
No,
question.
that's okay. Go ahead.
I have a question. I can't tell you how many times I've told my poor family that I'll be back in an hour, and then 7 hours later, they're sending a search squad out for me because I don't want to answer the phone because it's going to mess up my Ingress game. You know, I always tell them, don't call me when I'm playing Ingress. But does anybody have that happen?
Yes,
Am I alone?
I have a perfect plan for this. I have a perfect setup for this. So I've set myself up on Latitude with my wife,
Okay.
and I don't go out until after she's in bed. But if she wakes up and I'm not home, she can always just flip out, pull up her phone and see where I'm at and see if I'm still moving around. And then she doesn't worry about it.
Well, and that's the other strange thing. If you would have told me 3 months ago that I would be out at midnight at an abandoned post office up against the wall with my cell phone, punching away, if anybody can come kidnap me or whatever, I would have said you were nuts. But now I look forward to doing that. So
Yeah, I mean, I find it so fun.
And also when you meet your friends, online, and you're saying, okay, let's go meet at this portal, and my friends are like, wait, you met somebody online, and they're meeting you at a portal.
I get people that go, what's a portal?
You've never met them, or what's a portal? Yeah.
Yeah, Linda, you remember the meetup in Livonia when we all took down the library?
Yes.
We were sitting there and we wound up, I think, there were 7 or 8 of us total?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we were going to split up into 2 groups. And when we did, I actually gave the other group, they didn't have a laptop with them, so I gave them my Nexus 10.
And you didn't know.
And it only occurred to me after I pulled away that I just gave a Nexus 10 to people I don't even remotely know.
Oh, nice.
I mean, on the one hand, they've got to have, some amount of validation, to have a Gmail account, but it's not a lot of validation.
Does anyone...
I can just imagine filing the police report for that. So you gave it to them. Well, no, but you see...
we had to get Matrix.
Right. We were trying to take down the Enlightened players.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think they would understand that.
No, I think I would have gotten more head shaking from a cop. And so.
Speaking of which, I'm getting a little worried about that green wall behind you there.
Oh.
You gotta change that. It's freaking me out.
I'll have to.
I keep wanting to pick my phone up and do something to it.
That's my plan for building AP.
So Ian asked a question that we covered last week, but I guess we can talk about it again because we have a couple new people. We talked about there's rumors of a 3rd faction. What do you guys think? Is it a good idea, bad idea?
Not. The map is Swiss cheese enough already. It would be really hard to get real fields going with a 3rd faction, I think.
Does anybody think that the 3rd faction is going to be Apple players?
That would be fantastic because everyone would. It's like the one thing green and red, or it's the one thing green and blue can agree on, right?
Yeah, that would be a good one.
It would definitely be a lot more fun and would probably definitely get a lot more people involved. Would be Android against Apple.
Yeah, we would need, honestly, you would need to have discriminatory weapons. I mean, seriously, one of the things about having teams is that you should be able to form alliances, and there should be some way to, there would need to be some way to make sure that you could actually target weaponry at a single target rather than the burst style XMP that we've got now, because it would be you wouldn't be able to have truces, you wouldn't be able to do any sort of effective, advanced strategy work without it.
I did hear about one group I saw post. I saw them early on and then they disappeared. They called themselves Area, ARIA, and they said they were going to destroy portals on both sides. That they were indiscriminate as far as which side they were on. But they had to pick a side. So they really, unless they had a friend and one picked Enlightenment and one picked Resistance, and they went out together and just destroyed everything they came across. They wanted peace in the name of peace. They didn't like this warring that we're doing, is what they said. But I haven't heard from them recently, and nobody's come hit me on that. So.
Well, if they do iOS versus Android, they're going to be outnumbered.
You think? There's a lot of, I know a lot of Apple players that, I've tried talking to them about this game, and, I introduced that concept to them, and they're like, oh, we would kick your ass. I'm like,
Yeah,
bring it.
Android has 75% market share worldwide, so I don't think so.
I think the real problem for them would be battery life.
Yeah. Here we have a Note 2, we have a Razer Max, well, a couple different Razer Maxes. We can go forever.
How many?
That's a good idea, bringing two devices and using one first and then the other too, if you have to.
Yeah, especially with a power bank, you have one charging while you're discharging the other one.
Yeah, exactly.
Then when that one dies, pull the other one out.
I did have a really good thing going. I had gotten this battery pack that plugged right into the wall, and the battery went right into the plug itself. And so it was small, compact, you could carry it easy. And I found that when I'm out, I could stop at a restaurant or a bar and plug it into the wall behind a plant. Nobody knows what it is. Nobody messes with it. And then I go out and I can go kill portals, and when my battery runs out, I can come back and pick it up, and it's charged and ready to go.
Was that Zag Spark? Was that what the device was, Linda?
No, actually, it didn't have it. I got it off eBay, and it was for the Incredible 2. I just switched now. I have the Samsung S3, they don't have one available for the S3 yet. It didn't have like a name brand on it, but it was the battery for the Incredible. Although my Incredible got corrupted, so I think pulling the battery all the time wasn't too good for it. Kind of killed it a little. But I ended up with an S3, so that's okay. I like my S3.
I think it's time to give away another invite code since we had people asking.
Woo!
See, we gotta think of a different way to do it.
I think you should ask a hard historical question, and whoever gets the right answer gets it.
I'll let Linda and Josh do that because they know more than I do about the game.
I mean, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
What do you guys think they should have to do to get an invite? Or to win it, I should say.
Good question.
How about PvP?
PvP?
Is that player versus player?
Oh, yeah. PvP is being able to attack the other, attack other individual players instead of attacking.
Okay.
Well, that's the PvP explanation I've heard. I think that's a great idea. I think that would help that would greatly help our ability to defend portals in a live situation. Though that might, hasten someone actually getting shot over this game. Because someday it's bound to happen, and I think that when you make the attack about attacking the portal and not about attacking the other player, I think it's somehow less personal, and it's going to not lead to someone getting knifed at a portal at some point faster.
I think everybody's in it for good fun. I don't think I haven't run into that. I think, matter of fact, I think it's kind of fun to engage. It's kind of part of the fun.
Oh, I completely agree. And all of my interactions with Enlightened have always been hilarious. Like,
yeah.
I oftentimes go out hacking with a guy named Sal, and Sal ran into, I forget the player he ran into, but apparently he was taking down this library or post office in Warren, and his little nemesis character comes around the corner, shaking his fist in the air. Frickin' Sal! Just came around, and they wound up shooting it for a half an hour, talking about the game, how much fun it was, and how frustrated that he was because Sal kept breaking all of his stuff. But yeah, I mean, all of my interactions have been friendly, and I don't, but people take stuff, people take stuff too seriously sometimes, and I think it's probably just a matter of time before someone gets stupid.
So, how about for the invite, we just have the first person that can choose their side gets it.
What?
The what?
The first person to choose Resistance or Enlightenment and comment on the post.
Oh, that's gonna be easy.
All right. How about who can tell us the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
They have Google at their fingertips, so.
I was gonna say who was the 5th U.S. president, but I'm pretty sure we have people not from the U.S., so I didn't think that was fair.
We could take something from the story.
See,
okay,
there you go. You got your first one already.
There we go.
What was the answer?
She said Enlightened. So is that who we're going with?
Yep, we'll go with that one because we have another code we can give away in a few minutes.
Woo! Yay!
So it's Brian Johnston. That's the first one everybody's seeing, right?
No, not on mine.
Well, Brian Johnson got the unladen swallow question right.
Let me see if I refresh mine. What happens?
Yeah, because everybody else commented before we said that.
Because I haven't had the best of luck with my browsers today.
It looks like Brian Johnson won either game. At least the way G Plus is updating for me.
Yeah, I don't see anybody by that name, so I'm just going to go by whatever you see, Alex. Because I don't see Brian Johnson either. The first one who appeared on mine was Mandy Schuster. Alex, are you looking? Is there another chat thing that you're looking at that I'm not looking at?
No, I'm just refreshing the page over and over.
Oh.
I'm just looking at the comments on the Hangout.
Yeah, I mean that's what mine is showing.
Yeah, I don't see anyone named Mandy commenting on it. We might be looking at two different things.
There we go. His name finally showed up.
I'm looking on the Ingress show timeline event.
Yeah, we're using the Hangout post where they can actually watch. Which is, the link is in the event because I put it in there when we started.
Well, that's not fair.
I know Linda wanted to talk about the Ann Arbor meetup
Oh,
that
yeah.
you guys did. Was it last week?
Yep. We Operation Go Blue.
Yep.
Yep. We had Andy Matter. He put together a nice map with a plan for us. He put circles and everything. We met online, discussed our plan in our community that we have. And it's really important that you do have a community in your area that you can talk privately and plan things without interference. And we started the day early. The first two in were Agent Curie and Agent Straight Shot, and they started early in the morning. They actually had an Enlightenment person that they were kind of battling all morning, and then I can show picture, I think, here. Let's see. So I have to screen share, right?
Yep.
So this was the general, let me see. This was the general, can you see it? This was the general area. On the left, we had our before. Enlightenment pretty much had Ann Arbor. And you can see the after on the right afterwards. And what we did is there's a portal right there. You can see it's blue, actually, because we'd already started. For some reason, the map wasn't refreshing it yet. But the first thing we did is take out that one corner to kill, because that killed most of the field, so we could start working under it. Because that's one of the biggest things first, is you got to get rid of you can't work under the fields, so and links things up. So we got to get rid of the bigger field. Once we did that, there was another one. So can you see that? No, do I have to change it? Probably have to change it. Okay, there we go. This was what the city looked like before and after, right there. Yeah, underneath that big green splotch we saw before, this is what was under it. You can see when we first started, someone had already started working on the city a little bit, but Enlightenment pretty much was ruling the town, and we could not have Ann Arbor green. It's wrong. So we started out with the first group came in about 1 o'clock. The second group, rather, the second wave. Akiri and Straight Shot had already cleared the big field for us. And the second group got to work on these portals, the top group. And then the third group came in about between 4 and 6, because, we all have different schedules. The third group came in, but this ended up working to our best advantage. So then the third wave came in, and we took the second circle. And just went from portal to portal, and you can see on the right, and this was one evening's work. It was, one day's work. You can turn around your town in one day. It is possible. And I think we had about a dozen people working on this. We moved around in groups. And it was my first night out as an L6, getting to blow things up. And in that top cluster there, I think that's where it was the legal quad, which I don't know why I got such a thrill out of blowing up lawyer stuff, but I did. So anyway, so I got in the middle of this legal quad, and so there's all these portals in this legal quad. I was really surprised, and I think, I wonder if I can get all of these in this quad all at once. So I hit the button, and the whole screen lit up red. And then I could see like 3 blocks away some red, and I'm like, oh, look, it's somebody else hit a bomb the same time as me. And they're like, no, that's you. I just couldn't believe the power of that thing. And but we still had it wasn't one-shot deal. People are like, oh, you wipe it out in one shot. It wasn't a one-shot deal. I did have to use a couple. But the power of that thing, when I walked out of that legal quad, I was standing a lot straighter. I felt a lot more powerful coming out of there. I thought, wow. Just watch out, here I come. So
Power of teamwork.
That's what teamwork can do. And Enlightenment, meanwhile, was probably back in their dorm rooms staring at this. Studying for finals. We probably were responsible for a mass failure because they were out as soon as we left. I think it was by 11 midnight. You saw them out there trying to take back. But we had put some pretty high-level stuff on it. I'm sure they were pretty bummed. They're still working on it. It's been over a week, and they haven't really taken it back yet fully. But they're trying. So I also want to share one other thing that I have. I was at a portal, and I don't know if this is anything, but I just got to ask you guys what you think. I did post it on my Google page. It's this. I was at a portal, and I saw this. And I made it really big on my screen because I thought, am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? And so I did a screen print. Isn't that hands coming out of that thing?
Yeah, it definitely looks like something's in there.
Something is in there. Yeah, and I'm out there in the middle of the night all by myself, alone with this thing, okay? And it freaked me out a little bit. But so I took a picture of it, and so I I have not. No one has made any official word on what this is, but I'm going with it's a shaper. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going with a shaper. And he was coming after me. He was mad.
That's really creepy.
It looks awesome.
It does, but it's like creepy because it's
And
like,
look at
what the hell is that?
It's got 4 fingers, so it's not human. So you Enlightenment people, I tell you, you're messing with fire. They just never listen to us, you know? I even have proof here. So.
There's a bunch of questions on the thread right now. There's one from Andy Martyr. He's asking about how do you think the demographic of the community will change once it leaves beta, since right now it's mostly early tech adopters like us.
Mm-hmm.
You think it'll change to just regular people that aren't?
I think it's already starting.
Fans?
I think it's already starting. I've been getting questions like, what's that green thing at the portal? So, I mean, these are new people coming in, you know, and they're having a hard time figuring out some of the software. And some of the questions I see, I can tell these are people that are not techies, and they're having a little bit, you know, they're not as intuitive with the software as we were able to pick it up and kind of go with it.
I think that once it goes public, it'll be easier to get an invite. But I think that ingressors are probably still a self-selecting group, and I think that, you know, people who are not nerdy are probably not going to find it as intriguing as those of us, you know, who are, you know, hardcore nerds do.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't think that it's going to have the, you know, it's not a Twitch game, so it's not, you know, it's not super engaging for the first-person shooter crowd. You know, it's also not a, you know, it's not. I mean, it's kind of like Foursquare, right? It's, you know, there's definitely something to be said for, you know, owning the portal right by your house or something along those lines. But I just don't think that it's going to be engaging the way that non-nerds will, you know, will be interested.
I also want to note something I've noticed about everybody I've met through Ingress is there's a definite personality of the person that plays this game, and that is a person. I find that they're inquisitive, they're quick to learn things, they are driven. Like I said, you'll see them out there I'll see someone out, you know, you'll see it on the comm, they're out there for hours just pounding away till they get done what they went out there to do. And that's a certain type of personality that I think this game draws in.
Yeah, in comm I see a lot of people over in Windsor.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm at home because I'm so close to Canada.
Yeah.
I see a lot from Strike. I think Panfree. I think he's in Windsor too.
I see a lot of Panfree. I don't know if I don't think he sleeps or eats or.
I don't think he has a job either. He's always there.
Yeah, I agree. I see him. And he's a good communicator too. He's always he's one of the best communicators I've seen on comm as far as getting things done, letting us know what he's doing, what he needs done. It really is helpful.
He needs to dump a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Now that they have that cap on the inventory.
Yeah, and that I think 2,000 is pretty reasonable. I've gotten by with much less. I am out of L6 and L5 right now, but that's my own fault. But but we did talk about the fact that do we want to start an armory? Is that a strategy that we should use in this game, having an armory? And where would we hide an armory from? I mean, because basically you can't really like put a lid on it and lock it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Could it be lead? Or I was thinking, how do you maybe put it somewhere where they can't get to in the middle of the building, but then no one else can either. So I couldn't figure out a way you could do that.
Hey, Alex?
Yeah.
It looks like Joe Philly wants to be invited to the live on air hangout.
Yeah, I sent him an invite, but he didn't come. Because he asked earlier when we first started.
Hey, Joe, we'd like to see you.
Yeah, sure would.
And also,
if there really is a Joe.
Well, you know, there's something I have to say. I want to recommend to everybody who isn't following the story, that they follow it. I think that the story is going to become very important to your gameplay. There's a lot of hinting going around about that, and there's also one thing that unique about this game is that it's almost like you're reading a book and you put the book down and you check your computer and there's an email from the character you were just reading about, and you can talk to them. And these characters, you can engage them on Google, and they will engage you back. And solving the mystery and figuring out how does this play into our gameplay and what we're doing in our strategy and our gameplay.
I definitely agree with you on there, because I'm kind of catching on to bits and pieces from the storyboard, and it's just like some of the things that have been happening kind of start to make a little bit more sense, and it's just kind of piecing it together, and I'm like, yeah, all right, I get this now.
Yeah. And I'm dying to know who's at the foot of that statue, who was shot. What? There's someone who thinks it's not Deborah, that it's somebody else. There's a mystery there, and it's intriguing. And actually, I believe that Hubert said something about, he keeps mentioning a singularity. We were talking about a third faction, but when he says singularity, I'm thinking, well, that sounds more like the two coming together to fight something else, maybe, or I don't know what he would mean by. Can you guys think of what he might mean by a singularity? Or
only thing I can think of is everybody coming together to attack maybe the third faction.
Well, I mean, you guys know the traditional sci-fi concept of the singularity, right?
Explain.
Or maybe not.
Maybe not.
I was going to say yes, explain.
So the singularity is supposed to be the point at which, I'm going to butcher this, and this is being watched by sci-fi people, so I'm sure I'll hear about it later. But the singularity is the point at which robots and/or AIs exceed our ability to control them, or not so much to control them, but the complexity of AIs will exceed our own abilities as humans. And so the general idea is that, and the same thing is true. There's a physics term for the singularity that relates to black holes, and it's the point in the black hole beyond which we can't predict what really goes on. So it's sort of it's beyond the tipping point, and once things go past the singularity, there's no way to predict what future outcomes will be.
So this could affect gameplay too, and it might affect what strategy we use. Yeah. And another thought is, I just lost my train of thought, but along that line with the singularity, I know what I was going to say. When I remember back in the day with the Game Boy, you had, I think it's the Pokemon game, and it was a little map, and you had your little character, and he ran around the map, and he collected items, right? And maybe not Pokemon, but the basic video game where you're running around a map, you're picking up the items, and you're stopping to talk to people, characters in this game, and the character little talk bubble pops up, and they give you a clue. And I'm thinking, well, I'm a character running around on a map right now. I'm stopping and asking people questions, and they're giving me clues and heading me in a direction, and collecting items. So really, my life, the people that are giving me the clues, they're getting their information from where? The computer. So basically, it swings all the way back around that. What's the difference between the little person on that screen that was talking to me in Pokemon or whatever, and the person that I'm talking to online today that's giving me the information that they learned online? Both the information came from a computer. So it sounds to me like the computers are ruling us right now and getting us, it's already starting, even in this game. I don't know, it's kind of deep, I know. But I had the day off. That's what happens when you take a day off. You start thinking.
I have the next 4 days off, so
Now, this is the time. Do you think that people will be wanting to get together and play Ingress during the holidays?
I don't see why not.
Do you think we'll see things blowing up on the comm on Christmas Day?
We did on Thanksgiving Day.
We did? Okay.
Well, at least over here we did. That was the day I got my invite, so I didn't know what was going on. There is also another question in the thread, something we've talked about before. When do you think it's going to be open for everyone, the game? It's a very popular question.
It is. I actually thought it had opened already, but I was just noticing today on the App Store it said 100,000 to 500,000 downloads. That's pretty
everybody's
substantial.
Downloading it before they get an invite.
Yeah.
Because
I wonder how many of those are active. Yeah, how many do you think are active? I don't even know how many are playing. People have asked, well, how many people are playing this game? I really don't know.
I don't know if there's really a way to tell unless you're one of the guys that works at Niantic.
It'd be interesting to know how many are out there, and
I think there's quite a bit though, because I see a lot of people in like the private resistance communities, like the Resistance Help Center one. There's a lot of people in there.
Yeah, I think we're up to over 40 in Detroit.
Yeah, I think we have like 42.
Yeah, 42. That's the number I saw.
And some of those are from Canada.
Which we do need to work with Canada because we want to span the Detroit River into Canada. By the way, I don't know anybody who's not from Michigan. A little tidbit here, that we're the one city that we actually, when we're linking to Canada, we're throwing our link south. We actually look south to Canada from here, and it's kind of cool. But we have to think about crossing the border if we want to go get keys, and so you have to kind of plan for that. So. Unless you got a card like I do. It gets you across quick, but the passport card. I wonder how many people with Ingress are going to get that passport card to get their Ontario.
There you go, Linda.
Oh, God.
I mostly got this, by the way, because it's called Nexus.
Yeah. That's what I got. Oh, because you that's why you got it.
Yeah, because it's it's a Google kick. Yeah.
Definitely.
Strangely, though, not affiliated with Google.
I wonder. Yeah, that's odd.
I'm sure they'll be running the Border Patrol shortly.
Does anybody have any last comments for everyone before we leave?
Nope.
Nope. Just keep making things green so we can keep blowing them up.
Anybody got any upcoming meetups you want to talk about?
I wish.
May not want to do it with Matrix watching.
Yeah. We are gonna have a key exchange right after the New Year, and it's gonna be at the really cool restaurant in Plymouth, Zach's. They got something called Awesome Fries, and so
Sounds like it's awesome.
Awesome Fries and cinnamon craze. Yeah.
I'm going to be in Minneapolis that week, so I'm going to miss it, unfortunately.
Actually, here's something that's really cool, too, is Andy and Martin, Andy Matter and Martin, we're talking about making a giant map for us. And
yeah, I did see that.
I think that would be a great idea, so that you can draw your circles and make triangles on it, and have a war room. I think that would be so cool. So, but I wonder if anybody has done that. Has a war room set up yet. New York, maybe.
I don't know. I often think that when we get together for meetups, I think it would be really advantageous to have someone running operations. Large console or two back at somebody's home base. It'd be a whole lot easier than trying to pull up Intel on your phone.
Definitely. And we did have some of that support, actually, when we were in Ann Arbor. We had a few people at home that were talking to us on the comm and giving us tips and letting us know what we were missing.
Yep.
I think that it should be part of every plan for a meetup is to have one person assigned at home. And there's usually someone that, is happy to do that. So
Okay, we're gonna give away one more invite before we call it a night.
Woohoo! Okay, before you give it away, specify which thread or where you're looking, because there's a little bit of confusion because there's people watching from YouTube, the event page, and the thread on the
Yeah, it's
timeline.
the Hangout post on the Android headlines page, which is where we've been getting all the questions from too.
How about a question about the game?
Yep. Go
How
ahead and
about-
ask it.
How many points for something? Maybe. How many AP points you get for something? Or
because
would that be too easy?
Because the only people who will get that are the people who already have invites.
You know what? That's a really good point. It's a really good point.
That's why it's
Let's
hard
see.
to come up with a way to choose a winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Let's see.
Oh, crap. And Ingress.
We can have
I've
them
been-
guess the last letter.
I was gonna say, I've been kind of
Yeah.
like looking at this NIAID, however you say it, project page where it's got all the storyboards and stuff. I've been trying to like look for things, but I ain't finding nothing.
Yeah, because you know what? If you don't have a, by the way, for those that don't have an invite that are out there, get into the game. Get into the game and start learning about it and start commenting on it and start engaging people on give your suggestions on what you think's going on in the story. Like those storyboards, we're not even sure if they're in the right order. Why are they in the order they're in? Is there time travel? Could time travel have mixed them up a little bit? And start commenting on the boards, and you will get noticed, and you will. I've seen a lot of people get invites that way, and it helps those of us that are trying to solve it. And you might come up with an idea we haven't yet. So we're always looking for somebody with that unique eye that catches something we're missing on one of those storyboards. I think there's a lot more on them that we're not seeing. I think there's even more codes on those storyboards that haven't been found, to tell you the truth.
There probably are, because there are some days when there's a ton of passcodes and there are others there's none. Because I don't know how to decode them, so I just look for them to show up on Google+.
Yeah. And I Googled decoding and found quite a bit of help with the ciphers. There's Caesar ciphers and quite a few websites that'll help you with the decoding. One code was interesting. It was a bunch of weird squigglies, and it turned out to be a font that was hidden. You loaded the font and you used that particular font, and then it made sense. But
So for the last invite, I think what we're gonna do is have them guess the first letter of the code.
Oh, it's a letter? It's not a number?
Nope, it's a letter. So it's a little bit harder.
yeah, that's gonna be tough.
You got from A to Z.
Yep.
I guess
Watch
if any.
Everybody's gonna go A, B, C, D, and go all the way through the alphabet.
Gimme. That's not what I want.
Andy said he had fun decoding until he actually got his invite.
Oh.
I'm guessing he just didn't get as much anymore.
Whoa, people are like guessing left and right. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do.
I just put the letter in our chat here in the Hangout so that you guys can see what it is.
Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Nobody's guessed it yet. Keep going.
So I was actually on the boards today looking at all this data. I could share a little bit of what I've learned, if you'd like, of the story. For those that don't know the story, there was a man named Tycho at Comic-Con, and he had seen the future, a murder in Zurich. He had a poster. because he was one of the people that was affected by this XM. And so in comes Deborah and Jarvis. They are, Deborah has been, was with Niantic, and she was doing the Niantic project, and she learned something. We don't know what she learned, but it frightens her, and she's not easily frightened. And she starts this counter Niantic push, and Jarvis joins her, and there was.
No, that's okay. Alex, who did you get?
We found the winner. I don't know how to say his name because it's
Yeah.
De Gaulle.
De Gaulle Larazzo. Sorry if we murdered it.
Oh.
And you'll have your invite code in as soon as Google Plus loads.
I know, I'm having issues with it too right now.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, he was like the only one who guessed it so far that I'm seeing. Yep, he was the only one.
What letter was it? F? Oh.
Yep.
Wow, I'm surprised because that's only like A, B, C, D, E, F. You could get that out pretty quick.
Yeah, everybody started out, I think, at the end of the alphabet.
Why did you guys choose your side?
Because Alex told me to.
Yeah.
I get that question a lot. People want to know, how do you pick a side?
I chose my side because I had a friend in Minneapolis who got invited before me.
I always have this habit of choosing the good side. And it would seem that everybody in my area wants to be evil.
Christina, you're just going to have to start laying down real trash talk because that was so lightly veiled that I think the nuance. I think it's just time to just lay it out there. Which is the bad team?
That would be the Enlightened.
I have to agree.
Green! The Greens. The Greenies.
And you know, the people that get enlightened in the story, they're always so happy to be enlightened. And you still heard that tape today, the cosmic truth. And they almost, it actually almost sounds like it's habit forming to me, like it's addicting. And they get addicted to it because they were making it in that lab and they didn't stop making it. And I was thinking, so when you read some of the story, it's really interesting how the XM affects different people.
Maybe the Kool-Aid just tastes good.
It's possible.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I probably picked Resistance too because it is my favorite color. I'm not a fan of green.
We aren't either. We don't like Spartans, so.
I like blue.
Now, I know Enlightenment seems to think that we're like in the, like cavemen, the equivalent of backwards thinking. Do you agree with that?
I for one, welcome our enlightened brethren. I just, hope that I just hope
you
they
just want to
keep
blow
building
up his
so
stuff.
we can keep tearing them down.
Okay, I think we're gonna call it a show.
Okay.
Yay!
You can find all of us on Google Plus.
Yeah.
And you can find Christina and I at Android Headlines pretty much every day. And we'll see you guys in 2013. This is our last show for 2012.
Nice to see you guys.
Happy New Year!
Yep. Yay.